of our dear viewers on Synergy TV, all of our viewers on the Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, all of our listeners on U975 FM Multicultural Radio, thank you kindly for choosing us. A very warm welcome to another edition of the program, Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Budusing Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy, absorb. Remember to get your pen and your paper or your phone so you could take notes, because it's going to be really helpful for you and your loved ones. And you can also take important telephone numbers, all right? So, directing this morning, Hisham Costello, on behalf of our team, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a terrific day today. It's Tuesday, the 31st of October 2023. It is the last day of this month, never ever to come again in life. Don't procrastinate, don't waste. October gone after today, but focus on today and enjoy today. Keep smiling and enjoy the day. The best is always yet to come. So if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours. Let's quickly go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And our quote says, one of the best lessons you can learn in life is to master how to remain calm. Oh gosh, I love this. And I'm going to read it to you again. Thank you so much, Hisham. It's a great choice this morning. One of the best lessons you can learn in life is to master how to remain calm. Don't be ruffled. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Be calm, be cool, collective. As I just told Doctor, we were discussing off air about life. And you know, I said to him, this moment, this day will pass. That's how I think about life, you know. So it's a great message this morning. That came to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. Remember to check them out. They are located opposite Medford gas station in Chaguanas. Check them out. They're also in St. Augustine, rather at the Center of Excellence in Mokoya. Check them out. Let me say a very good morning to the management and staff of Synapse Medical Services Limited, and tell you a little bit about Dr. Nicholas Mirage, because he's an authority, a giant at what he does, a walking institution when it comes to health. I really admire him, and I have a great respect and regard for him, because what he does is simply phenomenal. He's learned the art of balancing life, but more importantly, transforming lives. And when I say transform your life, helping you to manage and to get back your peace. Because if you do not have good health, you can never be happy. You will be in disenchantment, and the people around you will also be very unhappy. So your health is your wealth. Dr. Nicholas Mirage is the medical director of Synapse Medical Services Limited. He is a UK specialist in internal medicine with Canadian training in general neurology and stroke neurology, all right? So he has offices throughout Trinidad, different offices. So when you call 367-9368 or send a WhatsApp message, someone there will guide you with regards to which office will suit you best and be, you know, good for your convenience, all right? So again, to the management and staff of Synapse Medical Services Limited, good morning. Have yourselves a great day today, a productive, fruitful, and thank you for the phenomenal job that you've been doing with your clients. Yeah? Dr. Nicholas Mirage, welcome back. Great to have you with us. There's just a difference in the air when you're around.
It's always a pleasure to be here, Zelisa. I love being here.
Nice to have you with us, Doc. Today you're going to be talking to us about something that happens, or we hear people talk about it all the time. Again, a bad feeling. I'm going to have a blackout. You know, these are things that we hear, or sometimes people actually have a blackout, right? And I think it's very serious.
It is very serious. And the important thing to distinguish is what somebody means when they say they're having a blackout or a bad feeling.
What exactly is a blackout?
So by definition, a blackout from the medical term is a sudden loss of consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness is our ability to understand our environment, intake information from our surroundings, and respond appropriately to that information. So for example, to be able to feel pain and respond to that pain appropriately, to have somebody speak to us and respond appropriately with vocalization, or to see a ball coming at us and to be able to dodge it. So all those things would imply that somebody has consciousness at the point in time. When somebody lacks consciousness, that means that they can't do some of those things. What some people refer to as a blackout might be more considered either the different words that people use to describe what they think they're having when they have a blackout.
Right.
Could be more lightheadedness, dizziness, giddiness. Those are separate, and we're going to deal with those on a different show. But for now, specifically, I want to deal with blackouts only. And blackouts are fainting spells, loss of consciousness episodes, and they could either be due to trouble with the heart or trouble with the brain.
I would never have thought, I'll be honest with you, that a blackout had anything to do with the heart. I would think maybe it's something to do with the brain, but I never thought it could have anything. And you see why knowledge is power and information is so important, to know that now that it has something to do with either the brain or the heart.
It is actually more common that people get blackouts from trouble with the heart than with the brain. So in order for you to have consciousness, you need to have blood flowing to your brain for your brain to be able to do all the intricate processes it's supposed to do. Taking in information and then responding to that information appropriately. If the great pump is not sending blood to the brain from the two pipes in the front to the two pipes in the back, we can have a loss of consciousness episode. And different things that could cause us to have low blood flow to the brain would be trouble to the heart from either an irregular heart rhythm, or the heart beating too slowly at the point in time, dropping the blood pressure up to the brain and causing us to black out.
Now, for clarity for our viewers and for everybody, when somebody, as we would say, faint, for instance, if you go to a funeral, somebody would just faint, right? Is that a blackout, or what exactly is that?
So the big category would be blackouts. A faint is a type of a blackout due to a heart issue at the point in time.
Wow.
So let's run through what typically happens to somebody when they're fainting. Typically something is going on around them that is that causes their automatic nervous system, their fight or flight response, to become very activated. So it's either a very emotionally stressful situation or a very mentally stressful situation. The person all of a sudden starts to feel like their heart could be racing. They could feel that they're cold sweating. They could feel like their hands become clammy. They very often say that they start to hear that the hearing and the sounds become muffled, so that they don't hear as normally. They hear like they're hearing echoing from very far away, and their vision starts getting darker and darker and darker at the point in time, until eventually the person kind of falls down and faints. That's due to the fact that whatever is going on at the point in time is causing the automatic nervous system to give a little bit of trouble, because our heart and our brains are very intertwined from a neurological level, from a hormonal level, and a very emotional level.
Because that is emotional. I would think it's something that's I mean, I would have seen it many times at funerals. People just faint.
Yes. It's very common, because when we have those emotions going on inside of us, our brain and our body becomes very interconnected. Certain hormones start rushing through our system. Certain neurotransmitters, those are the chemicals that talk from one nerve cell to the other nerve cell, become a bit more expressed, and that could cause us to have the fainting spell.
Now, would that mean that that particular person has a health concern? Because others are having emotional, they feel, very sad and low and things like that. But does that mean then that that person has a medical problem that they need to check immediately?
That is the most important thing. Most faints that people have are actually pretty normal. Almost everybody in the world will faint at some point in time. I fainted at different times in my life, and it was all normal given the situation.
All right.
So it's situational fainting. Situational fainting can happen anytime.
So, Doc, what about when someone is having a bath or someone mopping the floor? I'm just saying, I'm using different scenarios, and they slip and they fall, or they're just falling, a bad feeling, and they fall and they black out completely for a couple seconds. What is that exactly?
So that is, so let's take those two differently. So, for example,
yeah, because that's different. Yeah, that's a fall.
That's a fall.
Right.
So the fall is either due to something mechanically happening where you are no longer able to control your sense of balance, and that fall can either due to slippery tiles or something wrong with your own balance receptors in your body.
Okay.
Or all of a sudden you're getting weakness from, example, maybe a stroke. But if it's somebody normal, just walking about, slipping on maybe a banana peel that we're typically so accustomed to seeing on television, and falling and hitting your head, and then resulting in a blackout, that is a troublesome situation.
Right. And I would like to say here, do not self-diagnose.
No.
Don't think. It doesn't matter whether, according to Doc, it could be so many different things. So don't self-diagnose. That's why we have specialists like Doctor here to intervene and get involved immediately, run some tests and diagnose and tell you exactly what is wrong and give you the proper treatment. So don't, because you could be harming yourself by thinking, well, that was okay, man, I fall and that's all right, or you don't know what is wrong, so get help immediately.
Anytime you fall and you hit your head and you lose consciousness, as in you remember slipping, falling, and then there's a period of time that you don't remember anything happening, and then the next thing you remember is maybe you're sitting up or somebody in a family member is alerting you. That means you blacked out for a period of time, and that is very dangerous. You need to seek medical help for that. It can imply that something dangerous has gone on in your brain, and it could be very life-threatening. I've seen it happen. So I think very many years ago, I was watching some cricket. Somebody got hit in their head with a cork ball.
Wow, yeah.
To the side of the temple, usually, that's one of the thinnest areas of our skull. And there's a big pipe right under there. When that ball or any sort of trauma hits that area, you can break the skull and injure that pipe, and that could cause bleeding inside of the brain. That could cause you to black out and then catch yourself back a little bit after, but then that bleeding can continue inside of you, and that can be devastating.
Right. So today, I hope that you understand how serious it is, because the topic is about blackout. Blackout. It doesn't matter if you have a blackout because you fell, or because somebody died, or because you just feel nauseous and you have a blackout, or whatever it is. Do not self-diagnose. And don't listen to anybody, oh, take this and take some smelling salts and these things. And it's fine if people want to help immediately, but my suggestion is your next move is to get help immediately. Check out Dr. Muraj and his offices. Our program this morning coming to us with the kind compliments of Synapse Medical Services Limited with locations in Trinidad. And the telephone contact, please write his name, Dr. Nicholas Muraj, neurologist, or save it on your phone as 367-9368, 367-9368. That's 367-9368. Get help immediately. Last week I got so many calls, even during the replay of the show in the evening, right? And then we were sending, people were asking, and we were sending the messages out for your number because you were talking about neuropathy. But there's so many other things that you can help people with.
So
you're a specialist, trained and certified in the UK and in Canada as well. And, he's really an awesome person, lovely disposition. And this morning on radio I was saying, it is so important to have that connection or that relationship with your doctor. That you could relate and you could ask and you don't feel fear, and you're not intimidated, but you just feel yourself and relax. That's the first step, I think, of recovery.
It's actually a medical phenomenon. It's actually called the therapeutic relationship or the therapeutic alliance.
Yeah.
And if you can form a therapeutic relationship with your patients, your patients trust you, They trust that you're going to do the best for them. And that actually has a bit of a placebo effect in actually making patients better also.
I think it's the first step. You're correct. It's the first step to feeling better, the comfort of knowing I finally am going to get help.
That is most correct.
So let's go to these important messages. And again, our program coming to us with the kind compliments, Synapse Medical Services Limited. Telephone contact 367-9368. That's 367-9368. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation. But more importantly, I'm going to open up the telephone line and give you the opportunity to call, speak to Doc one-on-one, or you can send your WhatsApp messages. I will read it to him. All right? Stay with us. Let's go to these messages.
Have you been diagnosed with stroke, Parkinson's disease, dementia, or migraine headaches? Do you have weakness of your feet, hands, or face? Are you having trouble with your memory? Do you keep forgetting where you place your keys? Do your hands shake? Are your muscles stiff? Do you have bad headaches? Then the solution is Synapse Medical Services Limited. The consultant physician at Synapse Medical Services is a UK-trained specialist in internal medicine with Canadian training in general neurology and stroke neurology. To book an appointment now, WhatsApp 367-9368. That is 367-9368, and be on your way to a speedy recovery.
This Diwali, be sure to visit the Fab India Expo, your one-stop shop. Comfortable ambience, ample parking, multi-cuisine food court, arcade for the kids, Mehendi and Spa, the Fashion House of Trinidad, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas, with extended opening hours from now until Diwali, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Due to the delay in containers, the India Install Expo will be opening from the 27th of October until the 20th of November. India Install Expo, opposite the Center of Excellence in Macquarie, is opening from the 27th until the 20th of November. This Diwali, look elegant with their newly imported latest fashion Indian garments, matching jewelry, shoes, and even purses. Opening hours are 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, closing on the 20th of November.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Shogunas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Are you ready to own your own home? But worried about time, money, and construction? We handle it all. With Docs, you can sleep in your dream. Make a down payment of $100K or $150K and we'll build a 2 or 3 bedroom home on your unused land. A home is an investment into your future, so let's help you invest wise, invest well. Payment plans available. We're only a call away.
Welcome back to the program Conversations with Zelisa. So all of our viewers on Synergy TV, all of our viewers on the Caribbean Showtime Television, our listeners on U97, welcome back. Our program this morning coming to us with the kind compliments, the kind folks at Synapse Medical Services Limited with offices throughout Trinidad. And remember, the number to call is 367-9368, 367-9368. You could WhatsApp, or you could send, or you could call them, make an appointment to see Dr. Nicholas Maraj. Now, Dr. Nicholas Maraj is the Medical Director of Synapse Medical Services Limited. He is a UK specialist in internal medicine with Canadian training in general neurology and stroke neurology. So you know what you've got to do. Make that call and get an appointment and be on the road to recovery. Your health is your wealth. So that number again, 367-9368. Dr. Miraj is talking to us today about blackouts. Doc, welcome back. And
Pleasure.
let me go straight to a message that came in. And it says, "Hi Zelisa, when some of my siblings got injections, they got blackout. Can Doc explain please? What is this? An injection?"
So that's a very good point.
Okay.
I have seen this happen so many times myself. It's a situational blackout. And there are certain situations, particularly common, that can cause patients to have blackouts. For example, in the injection scenario there, it usually happens when people are afraid of injections. Their automatic nervous system kind of goes into overdrive, it goes a bit haywire, and the actual pain of having the injection done can cause the automatic nervous system to overwire that. The heart slows down, it drops the blood pressure to the brain, the patient starts to feel faint, they start to feel a bit lightheaded, the blood pressure to the brain then drops a bit more precipitously, and in order for the body to recover, the body naturally shuts off that area. You fall to the ground, and you usually catch yourself back within about 10 seconds.
I know big men who are afraid to get injection. Let me tell you, you would go.
One right here. One right here.
So let me remind all of our listeners and our viewers, if you have any questions or concerns regarding blackouts, you've experienced it, or you know of someone, then please feel free to call us now at 3847-142. That's 3847-142. Now when you call, please remember to take the volume down on your television, take the volume down on your radio, speak into the phone. 3847-142. Doc will be happy to talk to you about your situation. Now I've heard of young people also studying have blackouts. I don't know how that is related, but I'm sure you could address that later. Okay, sorry about that. 3847-142. Go ahead. You can call or you can send a WhatsApp message to 3847-142. Doc will be happy to address your concern.
Let's take these situational ones that we were just going with there. So for example, you said that, so that's needle stick blackouts. Situations where they happen, those situations typically happen because there's reduction in the blood flow to the brain. It could happen to patients when they're passing water.
Okay, may I, Doc?
Go ahead.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hi, morning.
Hello?
Yes,
Hi.
do you have a question?
Yeah, I know somebody, I was in the car with the person, and the person was driving. And all of a sudden, like the person is 67, and the foot gets weak, and the car started to slow down. And the person was going down, and all of a sudden, we just have to shake up and catch the person.
Wow.
That.
Okay.
And it's nothing.
All right. Thanks for calling, Doc. What do you say?
So we were taking the heart causes of loss of blackouts there just now. That would be more a neurological cause of a blackout there. That sounds like that person had a seizure,
A seizure.
an epileptic fit.
Right.
So given their age, they may or may not have had a seizure in the past. Certain patients in that age category may have like little damaged areas in the brain from either a
Right.
stroke,
Yeah.
a bleed in the brain from before. Sometimes patients have like little tumors in their brains that they don't know about.
But Doc, that's serious. You driving and that happen, you could get into an accident, kill yourself, kill innocent people as well.
Correct. That's why we have very strict laws in most of the first world countries, and between the neurologists in Trinidad, we have guidelines about how patients who've had these kind of episodes, whether they're allowed to return to driving their normal personal vehicles, as well as strict guidelines about commercial vehicles as well.
Yeah.
Because then if you're in charge of like a big
Exactly.
10-ton
that's
truck.
Serious. Very, very serious.
So yeah, that does sound like it could have been possibly a seizure.
Good. So questions, concerns, 3847-142 WhatsApp messages, or you can call. Doc, can you explain for a twisted ankle, many times I got blackouts.
Sounds like a painful blackout situation.
Wow. May I take this call? Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. I would like to ask the doctor a question, please.
Sure. Go right ahead and ask
Hello?
your, yes, go right ahead and ask your question, please.
All right. I have my right fingers, my right hand, all my fingers are done with, like little spokes and edges.
Right. At the tips.
I'm a diabetic, so I don't know if that is the cause of it, but my fingers on the right hand is numb.
Are you right-handed?
So I don't know what he has to say about it.
Are you right-handed?
Yes, I am.
No problem.
Okay.
So,
All right, you can listen off air and Doc will explain. Thank you, Doc.
so that actually goes back to the session we had last week about neuropathy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're learning already, Zelisa.
Yeah,
Just so you can do this job.
no, not at all. I have the greatest respect and admiration for what you do.
It does sound like a bit of a neuropathy, even though I'd have to speak to her a bit more, find out the
Yeah.
situations where the tingling gets a bit worse,
Yeah.
examine her. Maybe there could be a couple things. It could be diabetic neuropathy, which is common.
Right.
It could be carpal tunnel syndrome,
Right,
which
because
happens.
she said right hand.
It's her
yeah.
right hand. Sometimes worst case scenarios, depending on how it happens, small little trouble with the neck can cause neuropathy in the hands
Okay,
also.
so to that lovely lady, my humble suggestion is that you make the call, you call right now or send a WhatsApp message to 367-9368, 367-9368 and get some help immediately. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, morning.
This is Zelisa. This is Zelisa. Go ahead and ask your question, darling. What is your question?
Okay, I am a patient.
Your
I have a lot of problems.
We're not hearing you too clear. Could you speak up a little bit? I need you to repeat what you just said a bit louder, please, my dear. Hello? Well, I think we lost her there.
I think we lost Auntie
We
there.
lost that. So call back. Okay. Good morning, Zelisa. And brain, does that cause the blackouts? Arterial, ventricular.
Atrioventricular.
Yes. And brain, does that cause the blackouts?
I feel like-
Example, getting up too quickly and the place starts getting dark around you and you have to stay still till it passes. Can you explain that, Doc?
So what happens when we're sitting down or lying down? Usually there's a lot of blood pooling in our legs, and when we stand up, all of a sudden, that blood doesn't typically flow back into our right side of our heart. Well, then there's a lot of very intricate mechanisms that are supposed to happen, because also our head moves from being one area to being a bit higher, so gravity acts a little bit more. The blood pressure to our brain drops a bit, and that could cause us to feel lightheaded and blackout.
Okay, understood. Good morning and welcome.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good morning. All right, I'm going to have to abort the call because when you're calling, let me remind you again, take the volume down on your television, take the volume down on your radio. The reason we ask you to do that is there is a delay, and that delay is wasting time. So when you take it and you call, listen to the phone, speak into the phone, not the television or the radio. So please understand that and let's not waste time, all right? Let's try this again. Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, what's your question, please?
Is this Zelisa?
This is Zelisa.
Hello?
Yes, this is Zelisa. What is your question, please?
Oh, I want to find out from Doc, what is the cause for a person to have tightness in the brain?
Tightness in...
in the brain. Yeah.
All right, listen to him.
Yeah, it was a nerve problem or is actually a brain problem.
Okay, so he's going to address it to you now, Doc. Well, when we return, because we've got to take a break.
Not
so
a
to
problem.
those of you, please remember 367-9368. That's the number to call to make an appointment. Somebody asked me if Doc has an office in Hoover. He has, I think it's 4 or 5 different locations.
Yeah.
call or make a WhatsApp to this, and somebody there will tell you exactly which location would be best for you. So 367-9368, 367-9368. That's the number to get Synapse Medical Services Limited. Let's go to these messages. When we return, we continue to take your calls and your questions. Stay with us.
Have you been diagnosed with stroke, Parkinson's disease, dementia, or migraine headaches? Do you have weakness of your feet, hands, or face? Are you having trouble with your memory? Do you keep forgetting where you place your keys? Do your hands shake? Are your muscles stiff? Do you have bad headaches? Then the solution is Synapse Medical Services Limited. The consultant physician at Synapse Medical Services is a UK-trained specialist in internal medicine with Canadian training in general neurology and stroke neurology. To book an appointment now, WhatsApp 367-9368. That is 367-9368, and be on your way to a speedy recovery.
Charan's Bookstore. For all your school books, stationery items, uniforms, shoes, board games, toys, and much more. Visit them at any of their 3 branches located at 24 Eastern Main Road, Quezay, San Juan. Telephone number 675-9024 or 675-3607. 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, 663-1884, 663-1476, or 645-3878. Trin City Mall, Trin City. Contact them at 640-3155.
Calm down.
Check out Charan's Bookstore.
Tile Expression Limited, the #1 leader in tiles. Large stock, unbeatable prices, wide variety of porcelain tiles, ceramic tiles, wall and floor tiles, residential and commercial, granite and quartz countertops. Best quality from Spain, Italy, Brazil, India and China. Tile Expression Limited, conveniently located Monroe Road, Kunapir. Telephone 693-0015 or 223 Tile.
Looking for an adventure? Then come to Massa Nature Park. There are scenic spaces for picnics, adults and kids swimming pools, apartments for rent, huts for cooking, liming, and beautiful nature trails for hikes. Business hours 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Conveniently located at Brasso, Grand Couva. Contact us at 777-4531 or 335-0183. Let the fun begin.
We'll hear it more.
Oh, good. Welcome back to the program Conversations with Zelisa. In conversation with Dr. Nicholas Maraj, never a dull moment. There's so much I learn from him on and off because he has such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to health. And I really, really applaud him for the steps that he's taken in life. Reminding you that this program is coming to us with the kind compliments of Synapse Medical Services Limited with locations in Trinidad, offices in Trinidad. Remember to call 367-9368. That's 367-9368 to find out which office would be closest to you and would be, best for you to go to. And someone there will certainly let you know that. So lock it in on your phone, save it on your phone as Dr. Nicholas Maraj, neurologist, and write it down in a notebook. So you could make that call or send that message to get help immediately. Prevention is better than cure. Doc, welcome back to the program.
It's a pleasure to be
I'm
here.
just going to go back to, we're talking about blackouts. So I want to remind you, when you're calling, please remember to take the volume down on your television, on your radio, then call. Speak into the phone and listen into the phone, or you can listen off air after you ask your question. And that's important for you to follow those rules, all right? So you can call us at 3847142. That's 3847142, or send us your messages. I'm going to ask Hisham to probably let me know if there's anything on Facebook to send it to me, or the other phone on radio, so that I could address those questions that may be coming in as well. Yeah? So, Doc, welcome back, and of course talking about blackouts.
Definitely.
One of the things that I think is important, because I lost an uncle-in-law in Australia, really wonderful person, and he went to the toilet. Yeah, this is a couple of years ago. He went to the toilet to have a bowel movement, and he died.
Sorry
and
about
so
that.
we were talking about people who, you know, perhaps force in,
Yeah.
and they just have a blackout. What is the reason for that?
Straight back to the same thing that we were talking about, situational loss of consciousness. In certain, so for example, certain bodily procedures can cause raised pressure in the chest, in the abdomen, in the chest, and raise the pressure in the brain, and actually drop the blood flow up to the brain. So straining, forcing, can increase the pressures inside our bodily cavities and drop the blood pressure to our brain. By dropping the blood pressure to our brain, that will cause the consciousness center to not get enough blood flow, and you can black out.
Now, that's a message for people who are constipated, and you sit in the toilet and you're trying to push, and you're feeling the pressure, and you're forcing and don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Get help, because you could pass out.
Yeah. There's so for example, I've seen it with elderly gentlemen who've had prostate issues.
Okay.
Standing up in the middle of the, they wake up in the night, go to the bathroom, straining, forcing to pass water, and they fall down, blackout, hit their head on the edge of the toilet, and then there's now two issues on top of each other, because now they can have bleeding in the brain.
Exactly.
Which one came first? Did the bleeding in the brain come first, or did the blackout come first? It happens a lot with constipated patients, as you say. Coughing a lot.
Coughing?
A lot. So, for example, patients who have the chest infections now, cough, 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 raise the pressure in the chest, raise in the brain.
So when you're coughing, and you take that for granted, it's serious. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I have a problem with my fingers. I'm getting numbness in my fingers of late, in my right hand, and I don't know why.
Are you right-handed?
Are you right-handed, ma'am?
Yes, I am right-handed.
Very typical. So it could either be, it's some form of neuropathy.
Right.
Yes, there.
Right. Okay, so are you looking on television or listening on radio?
I'm looking on television.
Okay, so I want you to go back to the television now, and Doc will explain to you. Yeah? Good. Have a great day.
Sounds very typical, like our patient prior.
Last week we were talking about it. That was his topic last week, neuropathy. But don't rule it out. The point is, you need to see Doc in order for him to diagnose. Talking on the phone, or he would really need to see you one-on-one in order to run some tests to say to you what really is going on and put you on a plan. Yeah? So remember, 367-9368, 367-9368. That's the number to get Dr. Nicholas Maraj, his offices, so that they could guide you accordingly. If you may have a question or concern and you want to call in now, or you want to send a message now, then 3847142, and Doc, I will read the messages to Doc, or he will be able to answer your concerns. Doc?
So yeah, it does sound like a neuropathy. Could be an underlying medical issue like thyroid disease, diabetes, alcoholism, certain types of medications. It could be a neuropathy from carpal tunnel. It could be the neck. It could be something else.
It could be many things. So again, get help immediately. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your question, please? Hello? All right, we cannot hear you at all. There's no clarity. So could you kindly call back? I don't know what is the problem there, but there was no clarity to what you were saying. So 3847142, you could call or you could send a WhatsApp message, and I will be happy to read it to Dr. Miraj. All right, Doc?
I wanted to talk a little bit about the brain causes of blackouts as well.
Okay, yeah.
And the most common brain cause of blackouts is seizures.
Seizures, yeah.
So you could identify a seizure by most patients who've had recurrent seizures before. Those who are epileptic, they know they have a seizure disorder. They could be on medication or not. Usually they know when they're going to have a seizure. Something feels off in their body. They usually have a typical type of thing. Maybe their stomach feels a bit upset, an abnormal sensation in the body, sometimes deja vu. They usually start having an abnormal sensation. The patient could move in an odd fashion. They usually fall to the ground, and then their body starts to convulse. And that typically describes what happens in a seizure. So the convulsions usually happen both hands, the upper body, the lower body. They can go into abnormal stiffening type patterns. The really dangerous things are when they bite their tongues, because that would be very, 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 very tragic. Lots of bleeding all over the place. It looks very troublesome. Or if they pass some urine or incontinent with themselves.
Okay, understood. Welcome. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, morning, Judy.
Good morning. Morning. Okay, sure. Sure. Yes, we can hear you. What's your question?
Yes, she has a cough for about 15 years and it's not going. Sometimes she gets seizures.
She had a what over 15 years? We can't hear.
I heard sometimes she gets seizures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I want you to do, because we're not hearing you clearly. Send me a WhatsApp message and I will read it to Doc. But I think all we heard was seizures.
Yeah.
Not too sure, but that's reason for concern as well. You don't allow that, to happen another time. Good morning and welcome. Hello.
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 Hello?
Yes, what's your question, please? All right, again, your phone is, either it's your TV or radio. You have to take that down, then speak into the phone, right? Because we can't have the delay. Sorry about that, Doc. Go right ahead.
That's fine. So we're talking about so seizures there, the convulsions, sometimes they bite their tongue, sometimes they're incontinent. When the seizure episode ends, most of the times patients are very confused, drowsy, they're really tired. So they take like maybe about half an hour to catch themselves back after they've had the seizure episode. Those are some of the brain type causes for blackout or loss of consciousness episode.
Doc, what about age? In terms of, a lot of elderly people would have called, or they're concerned about, would have had. But what about young people? When I say young, perhaps teenagers upwards are having blackouts.
Typically, it will fall into the same type of category. Either it's a cardiac cause or a brain cause. You need to find out, hear the story of what caused the blackout, what was the situation that the blackout happened. Sometimes young people are more prone to like maybe dehydration, sometimes people with smaller body masses. Lots of young people drink a lot more coffee, so that could predispose them sometimes to become dehydrated. Dehydration could lead to the cardiac type of loss of consciousness episodes. So sometimes it's easy to kind of fill categories that certain patients can fall into, but all the time different patients would be different and everybody is treated individually.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, what's your question, please?
I'm calling to talk with the doctor.
Yes, what is your question, please, dear? Quickly, you have 1 minute.
Well, I used to have a sudden, that, I don't know, it's not a dizziness, but maybe for a second and it just worry. But I had a hold on at that time, because if I hold on, I will fall, and if I just worry.
A sudden what exactly there?
Do you understand? Do you understand what Doc is saying? A sudden what? Can you explain to him a sudden what did you have? If you explain...
A sudden pain, like something like a dizziness, but not to say disease.
Yeah. All right. All right. So I want you
maybe
to...
for a second, just for a second, and come on and just go away. But what happened, I was going through a lot of stress at that time, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay then.
All right. Because, Doc, you know, a lot of people, because of stress, they feel like a lightheadedness, they feel nauseous. People have different reactions to stress.
Many people have different reactions to stress. Certain people have muscle pains, like muscle tension in the shoulders, the neck, the arms. Some people get abdominal pains, some people get chest discomfort, some people have
stress.
Racing in the heart. Stress causes a lot
stress
of...
is a killer.
It is quite...
Let's go to these messages. First of all, our program is coming to us with the kind compliments of Synapse Medical Services Limited, with offices in Trinidad, throughout Trinidad. So you can call 367-9368. That's 367-9368 to make an appointment or send your WhatsApp messages. You can call 367-9368 to make an appointment to meet with Dr. Nicholas Miraj, all right, who is a general neurologist.
That's great.
Let's go to these important messages. Stay with us.
Have you been diagnosed with stroke, Parkinson's disease, dementia, or migraine headaches? Do you have weakness of your feet, hands, or face? Are you having trouble with your memory? Do you keep forgetting where you place your keys? Do your hands shake? Are your muscles stiff? Do you have bad headaches? Then the solution is Synapse Medical Services Limited. The consultant physician at Synapse Medical Services is a UK-trained specialist in internal medicine with Canadian training in general neurology and stroke neurology. To book an appointment now, WhatsApp 367-9368. That is 367-9368, and be on your way to a speedy recovery.
This Diwali, be sure to visit the Fab India Expo, your one-stop shop. Comfortable ambience, ample parking, multi-cuisine food court, arcade for the kids, Mehendi and Spa, the fashion house of Trinidad, located opposite Medford gas station, Shogunas, with extended opening hours from now until Diwali, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Due to the delay in containers, the India Install Expo will be opening from the 27th of October until the 20th of November. India Install Expo, opposite the Center of Excellence in Macquarie, is opening from the 27th until the 20th of November. This Diwali, look elegant with their newly imported latest fashion Indian garments, matching jewelry, shoes, and even purses. Opening hours are 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, closing on the 20th of November.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Shogunas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome back to the program Conversations with Zelisa, in conversation with Dr. Nicholas Miraj. Dr. Miraj is a general neurologist. Today he's talking to us about blackouts, and we go straight to the telephone because we know our time is very limited.
Let's go.
Welcome, good morning. What's your question, please?
Ask doctor, how do you address an alcoholic binge?
Okay, sure, he heard it, so he will respond. Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Doc?
I'm not sure what exactly asked me to address. So an alcoholic binge is, so I'll say for sure that that's not a good medical thing to do. Drinking alcohol chronically for a prolonged period of time has negative effects on the brain, the heart, the circulatory system, the liver specifically. Trying to cut down on alcohol at the point in time, because if somebody's been drinking for a prolonged period of time and tries to stop all of a sudden, they could actually go into alcohol withdrawal.
Yeah.
And alcohol withdrawal could have them becoming cold, clammy, sweaty. They could actually have alcohol withdrawal seizures. So for somebody who's been on alcohol for a long period of time and wanting to stop, there are services that can help patients cut down to stop eventually, because it's both an addiction as well as a medical trouble. So both my colleagues in the mental health profession as well as us medical doctors have both the parts to play in helping address an alcoholic trying to stop drinking. Now, just stopping an alcoholic binge like that depends on if you've been drinking for a long period of time or not. It'd be that person would need to contact us so we can have some more information about that for sure.
Okay. So please call 367-9368, 367-9368, and you know, that would be the number to get in contact with Dr. Muraj to have a one-on-one so that you could get some sort of early help, intervention to get you on your way to a speedy recovery and regaining your health. Yeah? Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Zelisa and Dr. Nicola.
Good morning.
I am one. My name is Pamela Samaru. I was in an accident in 2015. I have a lot of problems. I'm still on the wheelchair. Zelisa is what I tell her morning and whatever good night. She might remember me. Somehow or the other.
Yes,
but
she's my WhatsApp
right now,
friend.
I'm having a lot of problem in the back of my neck. With the C2, C3, C4, and C5. Both of them. And I have a lot of pain. You have to have my finger. My hand, my right hand, just give me a lot of problem. It will be numb, gingerly, and I use nerve relaxer and it's relaxer. It helps me a little bit, doctor. I get headaches, bad fear, all kind of things. What it is? I don't know.
All right. Before Doc responds, I will tell you what to do. Make an appointment and go and see Doc. But Doc, you could go ahead and talk to her now.
I'm attending neuro doctor in October.
Okay.
It sounds like it sounds like I'm very sorry to hear about the accident.
Okay, darling.
Right.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. A speedy recovery, Doc.
Bye bye. It sounds like she has such. I'm very sorry to hear about her situation. First and
Just
foremost.
listening to her, it sounds very painful.
It does. It does. So trauma, specific accident from a motor vehicle accident or a car accident, can cause a lot of structural changes in the musculoskeletal system as well as in the neurological system, which can cause swelling, nerve pain, damage to the bones and the joints, particularly like she was saying she's having C2 to C5 type problems, headaches. A lot of those things can be a combination of many things. To address one of those individually, it would be too difficult to try to say that on the...
It's a number of things.
So,
and my humble suggestion is, if you, what I would say to you honestly is, if you are currently in so much pain and yet you are attending a clinic, but you're still in so much pain, then clearly something is wrong. So my humble suggestion is you give Doc a try. That's all I could say. I think if we are, whether we're in a relationship, and I'm talking across the board here, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're at work or whatever the situation, whether it's health, whatever it is across the board, and it's toxic and it's not working and you are still hurting, you're still in pain, you're not getting better, it's stealing your joy, then it's not working for you.
Yep.
Try something new.
Sure.
Because if you're going on and on and on and nothing is getting better, then you need to look at something else.
Well, I think everybody says that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yeah,
so,
history keeps repeating itself, and living in pain is not a nice thing. You could never be peaceful or happy because you're in pain. If I have a headache, I can't function.
So chronic pain actually changes the way our brains work, and people who are in chronic pain actually think a bit differently. They respond a bit differently to stimulation, to engagement, to conversation, to any sort of thing. So chronic pain is a dastardly thing for anybody to have to live with.
Doc, you can't focus, you can't eat properly, you can't have a proper conversation, you can't sit and look at the television, you can't even listen to the radio because you're frustrated with this pain. You can't. So give yourself a gift. Give yourself, do it for you. If you cannot love you, you can't love anyone else, or nobody's going to love you if you can't love your own self. And loving yourself is taking care of yourself and being happy and making the people around you happy as well.
Sure.
You know, so make that call 367-9368, 367-9368. Let me remind you so that you feel secured and sure to know that Doc is no fly by night. Doc has been, practicing medicine for over 13 years, over a decade. I applaud you, looking younger, but he has some, He is a UK specialist in internal medicine with Canadian training in general neurology and stroke neurology. All right? And of course, he is the medical director of Synapse Medical Services Limited. That number is 367-9368, 367-9368. Give yourself a gift of life and happiness and peace and good health. Make that call and be on your way to a new and improved, happier you. Doc, your closing comments.
Blackouts are common, very, very, very common. They're either due to trouble with the heart or trouble with the brain. The underlying story about what is the circumstances that cause the blackout, the symptoms that you felt before, whether it be nausea, an upset feeling, darkening of the eyes, abnormal sensation in the head, muffled sounds, heart racing, cold sweating, chest discomfort sounds more cardiac. Neurological symptoms sounds like this is an episode that's happened before and it kind of repeats itself. Then patients typically tend to black out. During the blackout, it could last a short period of time, it could last a longer period of time. That helps us dictate it and put it into different categories. And then after the person blacks out, how they are can give us an idea of what is the underlying cause. When patients come to me, we do that same thing. We examine them, we examine the heart, we examine the nervous system, and then we either send them for heart testing or nerve testing for the brain and make an assessment of what's the person's chance of this happening again, how to reduce those risks of this happening again, and if it were to happen again continuously, for example, like let's say somebody who has a seizure disorder, what appropriate medication they need to be on to reduce the risk of this happening again.
Do not self-diagnose because you do not know. And if it happened to somebody and they took something and you are different from that other person.
100%.
Yeah. So please get a hold of your life, make that decision to get on the path to good ultimate health, a speedy recovery. And you hold the key to that, It's your choice. Nobody else's choice but yours. So that choice is the choice of good health when you make that choice for yourself. Doc, I want to thank you kindly, and we look forward to you joining us next week where we continue to explore, different topics in terms of ultimate and good health. Love you, take care of you, make the choice to be a new and improved and healthier you. Remember, our show came to us with the kind compliments of Synapse Medical Services Limited. And the telephone number to get to Dr. Nicholas Mirage would be 367-9368, 367-9368. Make that call and you'll never be the same. Here's reminding you, my dear friends, that with God, all things are possible. Thank you so much for choosing us. I am Zelisa Rupani. Have yourselves an awesome day. Be blessed.